When any end device in Cisco Unified Communication Manager, be it a hot phone or Cisco Jabber or Cisco IP communicator, any soft client or any I would say device which is registered with a call manager wants to talk to the Cisco Unity Connection voicemail server, right? It needs to talk to each other with a protocol agreed upon, right? So there are two types of integration that you could do. One of them is Cisco proprietary protocol through which you can have the integration in place, which is called SCCP, the very popular Skinny protocol. The other one is SIP protocol. Uh, SIP allows you to integrate Cisco Unity Connection voicemail server with a third-party, PVX, but that's a different story altogether. I haven't really seen much of the deployment where you would find Cisco Unity Connection voicemail server getting integrated with a third-party um, call manager or third-party call processing server. Okay. However, you can have your very own Cisco Unified Communication Manager as well integrated with SIP. So, I mean, in this lecture, we're going to talk about the integration with Cisco Unified Communication Manager and Cisco Unity Connection with SCCP method. Okay. In a later section, we're going to talk about the integration between these two servers via SIP. So let me break down the steps that are needed for this integration. So I have outlined a couple of steps that are required for the integration between Cisco Cisco Call Manager and Cisco Unity Connection Server. Okay, so the steps that are required are these many. Okay, they are very few. Okay, so just 6 steps and pretty straightforward. There's a wizard we're going to run on the call manager side, and then there are a bit of steps that are need to be taken care, okay, to have this integration in place. So the voicemail port to talk about is the device, which we add in the call manager and in the Cisco Unity Connection server as well. Okay, so they both need to match so they can get registered in the call manager. All right, so this is like a device added in the Cisco Unity Connection server, but it's also added in the call manager, so they integrate. They provide the integration. So these are the two devices, voicemail port and port. They're the same, okay, but they're configured both places. So in CUCM as well as in the Cisco Unity Connection. The line group basically would have multiple voicemail ports, so you would configure multiple voicemail port and assign them into the line group. And then you would have the hunt list. Under the hunt list, this line group would be pointed. Now, under the hunt list would be utilized by the hunt pilot. Okay, so the hunt pilot would be then mapped to the voicemail pilot. They'll have basically the same number. And then this voicemail pilot will have the voicemail profile mapping. So if you take a bottom to top way, you would see that this voicemail profile is basically assigned to an end device, okay, like a phone or Jabber phone or Cisco IP communicator, like that. And then in voicemail profile, you have got your voicemail profile, voicemail pilot mapped, and then this voicemail pilot is matched to the hunt pilot, and then this hunt pilot is utilized as a hunt list, and then hunt list would have a line group. A line group would have multiple voicemail ports. That voicemail port would be registered with Cisco Unity Connection. Okay, so let's do this step, and then we're gonna come back doing this one. Okay, so I'm gonna log into the CUCM server. Okay, here is my CUCM server. I'm logged into it. To go to the setup of voicemail, we got to go to the advanced feature, select the first tab, which is voicemail, and then go to Cisco voicemail port visit. Okay, the second option. And this wizard will do step-by-step procedure for you in order to, perform everything that you needed on the call manager side. And then, like we talked about, we're going to move to the Cisco Unity connection to do the configuration. Okay, so I'm into the wizard. Now, it's asking us, what would you like to do? Create a new Cisco voicemail server and add ports to it, add ports to an existing voicemail server, delete ports from an existing voicemail server. So there are a couple of options it has given to you. So what I'm going to do is choose the first one, which is create a new Cisco voicemail server and add ports to it. Okay, it's the very first one. So I selected, I'm going to click down here, the next button, and in the following screen, it's going to ask us about the uh, add ports to a new Cisco voicemail server using this name. So this is very important here, okay? So this is the name which we would be using later on. So you can change it as well. This is something which is proposed name, okay? So we could say Cisco UM, let's say test, okay? Or anything, voicemail. So Cisco UM stands for Unified Messaging. So I just added a letter, a word called test with it to have it distinguished with the existing one. But you can choose it anything that you want. Even the proposed one is okay as long as it's not utilized. So for now, I've just added a word in the end, test, to distinguish. So that's the integration and name's going to be like. And then uh, at the third screen, it's asking us how many voicemail ports that you want to have added in this integration. So let's say we're going to add just two, okay? In the production environment, you can have multiple based on the licenses that you have, but for now, let's do it two of them, okay? Uh, and then say next. Over here, we're gonna get the details that we want to put in. So we could say just let's say voicemail ports and anything you want to give. Okay, which device pool that you want to have. Location security mode would be non-secure voicemail port. In case you want to have security enabled, you can have encrypted voicemail port as well. But for now, just gonna keep it simple, non-secure voicemail port, and that's the kind of deployment you would see most of the time in deployment as well in the production environment. So I'm gonna click on next, and it's gonna take us to the next part, which is the extension of the configuration of the port. Okay, so if you take a look at the left hand side as well, it's saying add ports, and then it's asking for the details of the ports, like configuration details, and then it's asking for the directory number for the same ports. Okay, so I'm going to say the directory number is going to be beginning with 5001. So remember, we chose two ports, so it's going to create two extensions or two directory numbers for these two ports, starting with 5001. So the next one would be 5002 because we have got only two voicemail ports selected. So it's going to be creating 5001 and 5002. So internal caller ID, anything, right? So we have just added one more word, test to, uh, so to distinguish amongst other voicemail ports that we have. Okay. All right. So it says that the extension is already added. Okay. So we'll have to use something different here. Let's say 9001. So now it says this so far so good. Now it's asking us to configure the line group. Okay, so if you remember, let me take you here. This part is done through the wizard. Now it's asking us to do the line group part. We could do these steps manually as well, but this wizard is like taking care of all of the steps until here, right? With the help of this wizard. So let's go with the flow and add directory numbers to a new line group is the option we're going to choose. We're not going to choose existing line group, or we also have the option to add them later, but let's go ahead with the first option, add directory numbers to a new line group. Okay, I clicked on the next here at the bottom, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the line group name that it's proposing me to use. It would be Cisco test based on the entries that we have done previously. You could modify that as well, but for now I'm going to leave it as is. And here is the summary of all what we have chosen here. So number of ports 2, this is going to be the voicemail server name, the device pool, the location, the directory number it's going to start with, the display ID, and the line group name. So I'm going to click on finish now, and it's going to take a few seconds to create these two voicemail ports for us. Wonderful. So here is the summary of the work it has done. So it has created the device Cisco test VI1 and Cisco test VI2. These are the two devices, and it has mapped 9001 with this device, 9002 with this device, which is basically our voicemail port. The line group is also created. Okay. Now it's asking us if you see that two new voicemail ports were added successfully. They're added to the line group Cisco test. To start using these voicemail ports, you need to complete the following steps as well. Like I promised that it's going to take us until the hunt pilot step here, which is here. So these steps are done. Now we are going to go ahead and perform these two, hunt list and hunt pilot. Let's go back to the call manager wizard. Okay, so I'm going to right click on the hunt list and do it in open a new window, because if I click on hunt list here, it's gonna, we're gonna lose the wizard. So I want to keep a hold of this wizard page, and we're gonna come back after configuring the hunt list here. So there are certain existing hunt lists created. I'm gonna just click on add a new from here, or the bottom. So let's call it VM hunt list. Maybe the test is the one we're going to use. The call manager group. Let's say voicemail hunt list. Uh, Testing. Okay. Enable this hunt list. Yes, we definitely want to enable this hunt list, and yes, we want to check this for voicemail use. So our hunt list is also created. Okay, now it's going to ask us to add the line group. This hunt list is created. Now we're going to go ahead and add the line group to this newly created hunt list. Okay. So remember we created this one here, Cisco test line group. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. It's okay. So we have created our stuff until here. So voicemail ports were created, line group were created. Now we added this line group into our newly created hunt list. Okay. So far so good. Let's go back and see what's going on. Okay, so the hunt list has got now the line group added into it. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and create the hunt pilot now. Okay, so let's go back to the wizard, which is also suggesting the same. We're done until here. Let's go ahead and click on the creation of the hunt pilot. So I'm going to close this one where we created the hunt list. Stay on this page here. So it has taken us to the page hunt pilot, which we could have also gone through this way under call routing route hunt pilot. Okay, and let me click on add new here and create a voicemail pilot. I would say hunt pilot name is going to be 9500, let's say, and I'm going to use the VM hunt list test that we created, right? Description, we could say voicemail test, and and route this pattern. Rest of it, I could leave it as blank, or maybe I can just say alerting name or sky alerting name to be filled in for our usage. Leave rest of everything as is. Let's say save it. Okay. All right, so hunt palette is also added, and we have also mapped the hunt palette with the hunt list we created in our previous steps. Okay, so we are done until here. Okay, so hunt palette is mapped to the hunt list. Hunt list has the line group. Line group has the voicemail port. Now we're gonna go ahead and create these two steps: voicemail palette and voicemail profile. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and back again to the advanced feature tab, click on the voicemail, the first option, and click on voicemail pilot. The voicemail pilot, I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. There are some existing ones, we're not going to touch them. Considering it's a new setup, right, with two voicemail ports, I'm going to say voicemail pilot number is going to be the exact number that we gave to the hunt pilot. Okay, remember we gave it 9500 to the hunt pilot number. So I'm gonna voicemail unpilot voicemail testing unpilot. Okay, and it says that make this default voicemail pilot for the system. Now we don't want to do that because there could be uh, devices which are using the default voicemail pilot. If you're sure that all of your devices which do not have if you want to keep it default for all the devices which does not have any voicemail profile added, you can do that. But you can leave it blank if you don't want to use this voicemail pilot for voicemail access. Okay. So voicemail pilot created. Let's go ahead and create the voicemail profile as well, which is going to be the last step on the call manager side. So I'm going to go ahead and say add new to the voicemail profile, and we're gonna say VM uh, testing profile. Right, so spaces are not allowed. So VM testing profile. All right, I'm just gonna copy the same thing and give it some space for readability. I'm gonna select the 9500 voicemail pilot that we created. Okay. Again, make this default voicemail profile. No, we don't want to do that. We manually want to select our devices and assign this voicemail profile. Okay, so voicemail profile also created. Now it says that used by zero device. So we're going to assign this voicemail profile to the phones which are going to use it. Okay, and after that we will see that you know voicemail profile is going to be assigned to the devices that they're going to use it, and then the flow is like this. So from voicemail profile, voicemail pilot will be checked. Voicemail pilot is in our example 9500, and that's exactly the same as hunt pilot. And then the hunt pilot has got a hunt list. Hunt list has got a line group, and then line group has got two voicemail ports, which is 5001 and now I think there are two different extensions that we gave. Anyway, so there were two extensions for the voicemail port. If I'm not wrong, it was 9001 and 9002. Anyways, we're gonna check that. So this is how it's gonna be flowing. All right. So let's assign this voicemail profile that we created to the phones they're gonna be using. Okay. So I'm gonna go to the device and phones on the call manager side. And I'm going to use the very first two devices for testing purposes. So these are the two devices, agent 001. All right, so this is the device page. It's a Jabber device. Okay. Uh, this is how you see a Cisco Unified Client Service Framework product type is used for Jabber phones, okay, for Windows. Now I'm going to click here on the line 1, which has got extension 6001. And On the line one option, you have got an option right here to select your voicemail profile. So I'm gonna choose our newly created VM testing profile. Okay, leave everything as is. Click on save. All right, this is done. Okay, so we have assigned this voicemail profile, a VM testing profile on extension 6001. So uh, I have, I'm just gonna add 6001 here just to let you realize that 6001 is using this voicemail profile. Okay, let's do the same with another phone, which is Agent 002. It's also a Jabber device, and I'm gonna do the exact same stuff on the second device as well. So I'm gonna go Agent 002 in to the device level, which is this one here, and go directly to the line level configuration, which is you can click on 6002 line 1 here, and it's gonna take it to the line level, change the voicemail palette to voicemail profile to VM testing profile, and click on save. So you have it saved. Now your call manager stuff is done. Okay, let me go ahead and mention that it's being used by 6000 and 6002 extensions. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is take you to the voicemail side. Okay. But for now, let me do it this way. Let me go ahead and basically uh, bring my DevNet lab here. Okay, so these are the three computers on which the Jabber devices are running: Jabber 1, Jabber 2, and Jabber 3. So I'm going to launch this Jabber 1. I'm going to use this drop down arrow from here and select on RDP, and it's going to open the Windows for me. So Jabber is launched here. Okay, I'm just going to use a sign out just in case the configs have not been applied. I want to do that and do a sign in. Similarly, on my lab network, I'm going to use Jabber 2 and choose this option that from the drop down, RDP. So this way, I'm doing a remote console, the remote desktop session to these two machines in my sandbox lab. Okay, and it's providing me. I do not really need to basically choose RDP and log in and provide the username password. No, it's a direct web-based login that I've done. Okay, so I'm logged into my second device. I'm just gonna sign out from here. This is gonna go back, sign in. All right, so this is Jane Doe. This is John Doe. Uh, and if you, all right, so anyway, so these are the two devices that I'm gonna playing with. All right, uh, let's go back to the call manager. Or let me just try this way. Yeah, where is my devices here? Okay, these are the two endpoints, right? So I'm gonna go to the voicemail and click on call voicemail. Now, if you notice that it's not giving me the moving numbers here, so the call is not connected. Okay, since we haven't done the configuration on the voicemail side, the call was not connected. Had the call been connected, we would have seen the counter moving from 00 to the number of second. Since the call did not connect because we haven't done the configuration on the voicemail side, it just announcing that the call cannot be completed as dialed, which is well expected. And the same going to be happening with the second user, 6002. I'm going to dial and same result, 00 counter and error message that your call cannot be completed. So I'm going to hang up for now, no problem. I'm going to go ahead and minimize these two devices. Now let's go ahead and start to do the configuration on the Cisco Unity connection server. So let me go ahead and log into Cisco Unity voicemail server, and okay, so we logged into the Cisco Unity connection server with the credentials provided. Now on the left hand side, I'm gonna go straight down until the second last option that we have for telephone integration. Okay, so let's discuss on the Excel sheet that we talked about. These are the three steps that we got to do on Cisco Unity connection side. We got to add the phone system, the port group, and finally the port. Okay, so we are logged in and we're going to go to the telephone integration and click on the phone system first thing first. Now the phone system will have to create a new one, leave the existing one as is, and let's say call it voicemail phone system. Yeah. And click on save, and this is added, and it says the phone system cannot take call until a port group is set. Use the related link to add a port group. Okay, so this is saying that you basically want to go to the related link right here on the top right hand corner and click on go, and it'll do the stuff for you. So for now I'm gonna go there, but let me just use these options. Message rating indicator would do these stuff, send message counts, use same port for enabling and disabling port, or you can choose it not as well, you can. But since we have got only two voicemail port, let the same voicemail port to be used for MWI, message waiting indicator, the red lamp that you see on the phone, uh, on the Cisco phones. Okay, now leave everything as is, right? We're not interested in other configuration. Okay, so let's click on save here after enabling these options. Okay, basically I clicked twice on that, so it gave me that error. So I'm gonna go back on the phone system, this guy here, and let's see, I have got these options checked here now. Wonderful. Now let's go ahead, after doing this option, let's go ahead and click on the related link, or you could manually go as well here at the port group. Okay, but use this and directly go to the same page, but then you have already chosen voicemail phone system test that we created in our previous step. Now this is very important. Okay, device name prefix with a star here. It says that it has to be exactly the same what we used in Cisco voicemail side. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the call manager side and go to the Cisco voicemail port. Okay, because the port group would have a prefix based on which it will create the voicemail ports. So remember, we created two voicemail ports here. It says Cisco UM test hyphen VI, which is like voicemail integration. VI stands for voicemail integration. We only gave the name till Cisco UM test, and it added VI1 and VI2. So I'm going to copy till VI, right? And I'm going to leave the number 1 or 2 and come here, add it, because the number 1 and 2 signifies the voicemail port number, but the device prefix is until voicemail integration, the VI part. Okay, and let's use a voicemail MWI on and off extension. So we have got which extension free for now? MWI 9001. Okay, let's use something similar. Okay, 9500 is our voicemail pilot number, right? So I'm gonna assign 9509 and 9510. Okay, let's make it simple. 0809. So this is something what users can dial from their phone to see if the message waiting indicator light is turning on by dialing this extension, or turning off by dialing this extension, for testing reasons. Okay, so if it's successful, the MWI lamp on their phone would go on or off. So that's just the testing because Unity would be responding. Okay, so this is good to have that. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add the primary server setting as an IPv4. So this is my voicemail. This is my call manager server 10.10.21. So I'm gonna copy the IP address from here and paste it. 10.10.20.1 is the publisher server. I'm gonna leave rest of it as is and save it. Now it says the phone system cannot take calls if it has no ports. Use the related links. So this one, so far so good. Go ahead and let's click on related links for adding the ports. Again, we could have gone from here on the left hand side option port, but this way everything is set for you, and all you need to do is select the number of ports that were 2, right? And security mode would be non-secure. Yes, we want to have the phone port, have the port answer the call, perform message notification, send MWI requests, message waiting indicator mainly, and allow the trap connection. Let it have all the functions done here. Okay, so it says not authorized. Created 2 ports for HQCUC. Let's see. All right, so we have got these 2 voicemail ports created. For some reason, we got some error message, but we could take a look at it later on. So the phone system is done. The port group is done. The port is also added. So these are the three steps we were supposed to perform here on the voicemail side, which is done. All right, so let's go to the call manager side and advanced feature voicemail port, which is this page here. And I'm going to do a find. Purpose of finding this is to see if my voicemail ports are registered. Voila. My 2 newly created voicemail ports are registered, and if you notice, very importantly, the IP address 10.10.20.18 for both the voicemail ports, right? It's the IP address of our Unity connection server, which is this 10.10.20.18. So these ports are requesting the registration from the voicemail server side, right? And the call manager approved its registration because we already added it, and both sides matched the name Cisco test VI1 and VI2, right? And we're done with it. Okay, so the voicemail integration is done. Pretty much all the steps we have done is performed. Okay, we also added, if you remember, the MWI extension on and off, okay, which was 9508 and 95094 MWI on or off. Okay, so far so good. Now let's go ahead and make some tests and see what happens. So I'm gonna launch my phones here, which are these 2 guys, Jane Doe and John Doe. All right, so let's go ahead and click on the voicemail tab and call voicemail. All right, so you see the counter moving. Wonderful, and it says voicemail test. All right, so we connected to Cisco Unity connection. It has answered our call. Let's do the same test on the second phone. I'm going to go to the same tab voicemail, and hit on call voicemail. Perfect. So it is reaching the voicemail test port, right? And the counter is moving, so the call is connected, and the call is going to the Unity connection server. So this way, we have successfully integrated our Cisco Unity connection server with Cisco Unified Communication Manager. And these are the steps that we performed. And these are some side notes of what extensions that we used. All right, in the next session, we're gonna use the another method, which is SIP. All right, so we're gonna talk about the call manager and Cisco Unity connection integration with the help of SIP protocol. All right, see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.